Okay, I understand English now, but I just don't know what to say. Is this happening to you? I get a lot of students who tell me that although they do know what's happening in the conversation now, they just don't know what to say back. Today, let's talk about why this may be and then some things that we can do to remedy the situation. Are you guys ready? Let's get into it. Okay, one of the reasons that I think while we can start to understand a language, but then we can't necessarily speak it as well as we can understand it, is that we have a problem with the input versus the output. Input is where all of the information that we're hearing from the outside, we're getting that, and this is something that's passive. But you can't just focus on listening to TV shows, watching a movie, listening to music, or listening to podcasts. You do have to, at some point, focus on actually getting your voice out there, and this is where we come to that output. Okay, so you don't want to just focus on everything coming in. You are at some point going to have to get your voice out, and this is where I think a lot of people have problems. You are listening, and when you do listen, you just not have enough chances to speak. When I first came to Japan, I got to a point where, okay, I actually understand what's happening on TV now. I do understand what's happening in these people's conversations, but when it comes to actually speaking, I just didn't know what to say. And I found that the more I had chances to get my voice out there, I can start finding my natural voice and how I want to say things, when is a good chance to say them. And it's not just me having everything wash over me. It was the fact of me getting out there and actually using the language and putting it into practice. And that's when I think that we start to get better and better. Okay, the first thing that you can do is start practicing talking to yourself. I mean, narrate in your head. You can also do speaking out loud and talk about everything that's happening in your daily life. This is a real good way to practice actually getting your voice out into the open. You can get the muscles of speaking really improved and in practice, and I think this is going to be a good way. So for example, just narrate your day-to-day. Whatever you're doing, start speaking in English. You can do this something simple. You don't have to worry about using vocabulary that you don't know, but I think it's going to be a good practice of narrating your daily routine. For example, every morning I wake up, so what I would do is, after I get out of bed, okay, I'm out of bed. Now, I'm going to go downstairs and get a big glass of water, and then what I'm going to do is brush my teeth. Okay, brush my teeth is ready. Now, what I'm going to do is get out my exercise mat. I'm doing my stretches. Okay, these reps are finished and these stretches are now complete. So I'm going to go have some breakfast. After breakfast, I want to brush my teeth. Okay, I'm brushing my teeth now. And now I'm going to have another glass of water. Okay, it's time to get my day started. So it's time to prepare for English class. Just start having a daily narration of everything that you're doing in your day, and I think it's going to improve you actually listening to your voice and get your speaking muscle working. Try it. Okay, the second thing that you can do is write down some things that you want to say. Prepare some sentences, start practicing about some conversation topics that you get often. For example, especially at the beginning, you might get a lot of, where are you from? What brings you here? What do you do? These types of questions, you can prepare some simple answers. For example, a self-introduction, prepare some simple sentences, some simple questions you might get, and then practice. If I get this question, I can try this answer. If someone wants to talk about this, I can at least start with these few things that I do know and I'm confident in, and then you won't necessarily be so surprised or caught off guard when it comes to using English. Okay, the next thing you can think about is fluency is better than perfection. So focus on being understood. Okay, you want to focus on what is the other person saying, can I understand them, and now that we have this down, can they understand me? So you want to focus more on the fluency and not necessarily the grammar at the beginning. You just want to get things out. You want to be using your own voice. You want to be speaking as much as possible. And when you can be understood and you can understand them, this is really going to be the most important thing for a conversation. Can two people have a dialogue? Can we talk? Even if it's not the most perfect grammar, it's the most big vocabulary words that you can think of, conversation is the most important. So focus on your fluency. Don't focus on being perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm English. If you're listening to this video, you might have heard me trip over a few words on the way to this topic, so don't worry about it. Everyone makes mistakes, and mistakes can help you get better, and just making mistakes is not going to be the end-all be-all of if you can have a good conversation. Okay, the next thing I like to talk about is shadowing. So shadowing is a technique you can do to improve your language, which is repeating what you hear. So maybe you can find a voice, someone that you really admire, someone that you like, TV show, movie character, anything is okay. You want to find out what that voice sounds like. You want to listen to that voice, and then you want to be able to repeat it right after you hear it and see if you can get down as close as possible. Copy that voice, copy the intonation, copy those sounds, and I think you're going to be able to focus on not necessarily what's the meaning or what are they saying, but you want to focus on your fluency, how I can get down my language and really get my muscles, my mouth working in the way that's going to form those words and give me the confidence to really speak in English. Okay? Now, I've done a video on shadowing before, so if you wanted to learn a little more in detail, I'll leave a link below and you can check that out after this video. Another thing that you can do is record yourself speaking, and you're going to be able to hear how you actually sound. You can see where you make mistakes. You can check out, is this the voice, and is this the intonation, is this the sound that I really want to be presenting? And I think you'll really be surprised once you actually start to hear your own voice, how you sound, where you make mistakes. You might not like your voice at the beginning. I'm making these videos, and especially at the first few times when you hear your voice, you kind of will be surprised at, wow, this is how I sound. I didn't know that. Thought I sounded a lot different, thought I sounded better. But I think little by little you start to find your voice, be confident hearing your voice, and you won't be worrying as much about the mistakes, but you really will be able to notice the difference. And so what I want you to do is try recording your voice. Maybe you can put it on video, just get actual voice recording, get yourself down, listen to it, and maybe you can go over by yourself. Maybe you can have somebody else listen to it for you, see where maybe they can catch some things that you're not catching. And I think another good way that you can do this is, how about recording your voice for the first time, and then set yourself a date in the future, maybe half a year, maybe a year from now. Go back, listen to your original recording, and then listen to your updated recordings and see how you grew, see where you changed, see how you got better. And I think little by little, you're really going to improve your language by picking out where you're making those mistakes and how you can get better. So try recording yourself, see if it helps you. And the last thing I'll talk about today is, maybe if you have the chance, is talking to a language teacher. Maybe you can do it one-on-one or in a group. Doing it one-on-one, you have a chance to really set how you want to use that language teacher. When I have students that come to me for a variety of reasons, sometimes they just want to be able to go abroad, order something in a restaurant. Sometimes they want to learn just travel English. I want to learn how to get through customs. Whatever it is you want to learn, if you have a chance and you can talk to a language teacher, talk to them, set a plan about what you want to go over, and have the teacher work for you, because at the end of the day, you are the person who really wants to learn English. So you can say, maybe correct my mistakes. I want to use this vocabulary, so today, check out this pronunciation and see where I can improve, or see what you think is okay. So you can use that language teacher to go over specific things. You can improve your language in a friendly setting. It's a good place to make mistakes, and Also, you can ask your questions at this point, and I think it's a real good way, if you have the chance or want to, is get a language teacher and see if you can improve your English that way. So you just want to have as many chances as possible to be speaking. Okay, so if you've made it this far, I hope you've had some good value and some good ideas about what you can do to start improving your English. And so if you're at the point now where you do understand, but you just don't know what to say, try some of these techniques out, see if they work for you. And if you have the chance, write it down below. Did this work? I tried this. I want to try this. Or you can also let me know what you have tried in the past and did it work for you. Okay? If this gave you any value, I would hope you can give me a like, share it with somebody that can help you. I really hope this benefits you guys, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.